Good morning. Good morning. What's going on, everybody? I wanted to go ahead and come in here today, and we're going to complete our next pre market analysis for today. Today is going to end it off for the week. So, therefore, we're going to go ahead and come in here today so we can finish this up, okay? And then from here, we're going to see what our opportunities were for the week. And yeah, that's pretty much what we're going to take care of. As of right now, we did end up taking a UCAD trade yesterday. Unfortunately, it didn't work out and it came back and stopped me out. My stop loss was right above these highs, and then price went in my favor but snapped all the way back, took out stop losses right above these highs, and then now it's continuing back down in my favor. So we're going to go ahead and dive into a little bit of that today. But we're going to go ahead and get started with Forex Factory, and then we're going to start walking through all of the other breakdowns itself. So, excuse me. So, coming in here as of right now, we are on Thursday, January 22nd, and we're going to go ahead and check out news events first. So, we have USD GDP coming out at 7:30 today, as well as unemployment claims, as well as final GDP. And then beyond that, we have core PCE for USD as well. And then a little bit later today, I don't trade NZD, but we do have their CPI. I do trade JPY. So we're going to have at some point overnight. So later on today, going into overnight, we're going to have tentative JPY. And it's like what, 4 red folders. So we have four red folders in a row. And then we also have GBP red folder as well for retail sales. So all of these could kind of shift the market a little bit, either to or against our favor. So that's just something that we got to keep in mind. So other than that, on Friday, we do have some additional news events that are happening before 5 a.m., as you can see. And all of these kind of news events we have to keep in mind. We have PMI on Friday for, what was it, GBP. And we are currently holding GBP as of right now. So that is something that we have to keep in mind. And we also have USD PMI. So again, this could all rock the market on Friday. So if I do enter any trades today, I just have to be mindful that we have news events throughout the day today, and then some news events also tomorrow, and it's PMI tomorrow. So that could really give a lot of momentum in the direction of our trades in that sense. Could, or it could go against us, right? Never know. So let's go ahead and jump right into our trading analysis and see how we are looking for the day. So right here, we're looking at our daily candlesticks on GBP USD. And then right here, we can see that price was in this uptrend. We had made a higher low, higher high, and then price broke this low, making a lower low, lower high, lower low, double top. And now we kind of consolidated here right above the EMA, giving a bigger wick to the downside than a wick to the upside. So this we have to be mindful of as we are rejecting lows at this very moment, and we are attempting to try to break through some highs. But we had a lot of rejection here, so we'll have to just monitor to see how price continues to act. Let's check out the 4 hour. 4 hour, here is the double top right here, and then we pulled back down so we can see double top was created, tap one, tap two, pushed down, came up, rejected these highs, came down, rejected these lows, not once but twice, and now we're pushing back up. So this we got to be careful for, because right now we're looking like we're becoming bullish because we have This was price coming down, and we broke this lower high, and then we made a lower low, and then we broke this lower high into a high, giving us the double top, and then we are now kind of making this inverted head and shoulder pattern. So I'll lay out the inverted head and shoulders. We have a low to this is your left shoulder to the head, and then right shoulder right here. And if we look at this as well, this is technically a slightly higher low than what this low would have been. So this is giving me a lot of like, it looks like we're about to be heading back in the up direction. So I currently have my trade set up where my stop loss is right above this key level zone. So for that reason, we have to keep in mind that price could pull back, create a triple top, and then continue lower. With all the news events coming out as well, that could cause a ripple in the market. But right now, it looks like we are jumping into some sort of consolidation zone at this moment. Because we kind of have this spot right here where price is just kind of reacting kind of differently at this moment. You could also say in the 4 hour, we kind of have this little box right here. So therefore, you have a low, you have a high, and you have a ton of wicks that are just forming. So those are two things you can kind of say as of right now as well. But I do see this inverted head and shoulders. If this breaks above this high, then we could just start kind of breaking through all of these other highs right here. So I'm going to keep an eye on GU, and then I'm going to determine if I'm going to cut my trade. I don't have a trade on this platform. I have it on my phone's platform. So yeah, but this is pretty much where I'm at right now, giving a conflict of interest based upon the major pullback. And if we look at this has not came down to the 50% of this daily move. So for that reason, I believe that we could continue to pull back down to this 50% or this support resistance zone at least before we start heading back to the upside. Now, we did reject this area that has wick, right? This area right here, price came right to it, and now we're rejecting from here, harshly in a sense. So that's something to just kind of keep in mind, is we are rejecting a resistance zone right here. So that's like a really great resistance zone that we have rejected, and it was with like a bullish engulfing bar. So that is why I'm kind of like hesitant on holding this trade, because we don't have just one, we have like 2 or 3 reasons to get out. So reason number 1, we rejected this wick area right here. Reason 2, bullish engulfing at this wick area. Reason 3, we have an inverted head and shoulders. Reason 4, we just planted a higher low and we're trying to break the high. So these are all reasons of me looking at exiting this trade until I get another confirmation to get back into a sell. But yeah, all of these reasons are just telling me why I should get out of this sell and just kind of wait on my hands. So let me look at where this is currently sitting. So for GU, I'm currently down in the position a little bit. So let's see, what's the plan here? So I am going to move my stop loss to right above this lower high that was just planted. And if price breaks through and closes above, it's going to automatically take me out of my position, and I will be accepting of that risk. So that's pretty much where I'm at right here. I'm going to move my stop loss to have a lower range of getting stopped out. That's it. So now I cut my risk by 2/3. So now if I do get stopped out, I get stopped out, unfortunately not in profit, but I do get stopped out right here. So If price comes up and taps this area and then continues lower, unfortunately, I would be out of the trade. But if price breaks through and comes up and closes above in all of these highs, then that would show me that the bullish sentiment was stronger than the bearish sentiment, which if you go to the daily, you can see that the bullish sentiment is stronger than the bearish. This is just kind of like a counter trend versus the overall bullish trend. The only thing is I'm expecting it to come down further before we continue higher. So, and plus we're kind of like in this consolidation zone between this red line and this red line where we're kind of bouncing like this. So for all of those reasons, I was still looking for a possible sell. So that's pretty much what I got on GU. Just keeping an eye on it, and then we're going to go from there. Let's go ahead and jump right over to gold. So gold has made a nice pullback pretty much all of yesterday. So with gold making a nice pullback from yesterday, we have here on a daily, let's just kind of go to a daily and take everything off the charts. We can see this daily time frame has been just rallying really nicely. So we had this nice rally, a nice drop off, consolidation, and then a continuation to go back up. As of right now, we haven't really had this nice drop off to get possibly in for another entry. So we can see we had one drop off here, we had a drop off here, we had a drop off here. All of these were able to get a nice entry shortly after. This, we are just continuing to ride this higher. Now we are starting to wick at these highs, and we are starting to give a little bit of resistance up here. So if this resistance still holds, then at that point, right, if we get a lower high on the 4 hour, this would be a really nice opportunity for price to really, come down a really good amount. So if we're looking at the daily, and we look at our daily Fibonacci that I have listed, I'm thinking gold is going to come all the way down to at least the 5061 area and then give us a little bit of rejection here. Now, this Fibonacci pretty much played out, the negative 61 and negative 27, so I'm going to delete that one. We do have a bigger time frame Fibonacci that you can utilize, this pivotal point and this pivotal point. And therefore, if we do pull all the way back to this key level, this one right here would be the 50% of this overall move. Oh, excuse me. And then that would have already filled this gap as well. And now we do have this little gap over here, and price could come all the way down here, or it could come all the way down here at 4,500 before continuing higher. Now, I think we are very likely to get a pullback to about right here, which is 4670 area as like try to buy first opportunity here. And then second opportunity would be near this 50%. Third opportunity is right around this 61%. So if we get a buy opportunity in any of these three zones, those are all of my three zones that I'm interested in getting a buy opportunity at. So I'm just going to mark them with this green light right here, just so therefore I have it. Awesome. So that's pretty much gold as of right now. Nothing too crazy at this moment. Just looking at a 4 hour, we are in this major push up. I got Fibonacci from A, B, right? This is my pivotal point that I'm expecting it to come down to. We pushed down, wicked at the bottom, continue to hold near the lows. We kind of pulled back up a little bit above the EMA currently. I'm anticipating that we get a break back down below, and then we continue to ride this down a little bit further. That's my anticipation for gold. If we look at a 2 hour, we kind of have this tweezer top kind of forming right here. But yeah, we'll just kind of keep on monitoring and see what is presenting itself. But that's all I got on gold. Let's look at NQ real quick just to see what we got. So NQ, we have this down move that I was anticipating that we're going to be looking at. So we have this nice pullback as of right now. So we might actually be able to get in for a sell opportunity today for the first time from looking at this. So let's go ahead and add my support resistance zone here. So this is my exact trading plan analysis right here. So we have shifted from this bullish market into this bearish market right here. And then we also have this current move where we had support. All right, let me add it right here. So we had support, 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 failure to break the highs every single time. Then a break below these lows, creating bearish structure, came up, made a lower high, and then a continuation to the downside. So now that we got a continuation to the downside, we're now pulling back to this general area here. And then I'm expecting that we give a sell opportunity here, and therefore we'll continue to break the lows. So that is currently what I'm anticipating as of this moment. So I have my pivotal point at this lower high to this lower low, and we're in this pullback zone. And so now all I'm waiting for is a sell confirmation. So a sell confirmation, for example, will happen on a 2 hour or a 1 hour. As of right now, there is no sell confirmations as of yet. So what we would love to see, right? What I would love to see is we get a break of a low and then a lower high and then a continuation, or we get a higher low, lower high, and then right upon this break, we could enter the pretty much we could enter this trade right on the break of this low, and then stop loss could go either below or above this high or above this high, and we could try to ride it all the way down. So either which way, but right now we are still in this bullish pattern. So I have higher low or higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So we're currently making bullish structure at this moment still. Sorry about that. And then let's see. So that's pretty much what I got on NQ right now. So NQ is going to be a real big possibility today. So we're going to keep on monitoring that. And then let's see. So S&P 500 is typically very similar to NASDAQ. So I do have the same concept happening here. So we have the Fibonacci from A, B, we have the 4 hour. 4 hour is still in this pullback zone, just like NQ. We are currently making, right, we have this higher low, higher high, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So we are looking for this bearish structure once again to set up for a sell opportunity. We are starting to weaken with these bullish moves. So strong bullish move, strong bearish, strong bullish, weaker bearish, plateaus, weak bull, right? So now it's time for a possible reversal zone. So same exact concept that I just mentioned on NQ. Let's just wait for what opportunity presents itself over the next few hours, because the market open is around 8:30 in the morning for me. So for specifically NASDAQ and S&P 500, we're going to get the most volatility near the open of the New York session. So for that is going to be around 8:30 a.m. That's whenever volume kicks in, and that's whenever we're going to get the bigger candlesticks for the day. So that's just something to mention and just keep in mind. Let's go ahead and check out silver. Silver is actually looking really nice. I did not realize this until just now. So let's just take a glance at silver, and then we're going to go ahead and keep on looking. This one might actually give us our entire trading plan right now for an opportunity either now or in the next hour or so. So let's check this out. So on a daily time frame, we are currently in this overall uptrend here, right? We're pushing up. We started consolidating a little bit in this kind of area here. We had a nice breakout, pull back to the EMA, and now we're rejecting this EMA area. So I'm anticipating us to continue higher. We have now fulfilled our 50% Fibonacci zone here. Breaking down a 4-hour zone, we actually have a solid 4-hour entry candle here. So I don't feel confident on this big of a risk. I mean, it could really move, to be honest with you, but this risk right here on the table after this consolidation, I'm not really feeling it so much. So, and then immediately rejected. So we could get a little bit more of a pullback. I personally would be waiting for a 2-hour or 1-hour entry, but this has given us bullish signals back in the up direction. So I'm going to delete this consolidation box. I can keep this on for the moment because it's starting to reject. But pretty much coming into here, we have made this new high. Then we actually pulled back and almost closed the entire gap. We closed the majority of the gap. And then we made this bullish engulfing bar here, breaking right above the EMA. So those are all good confirmations that a buy opportunity is presenting itself. Now, me personally, I would be waiting for a 1-hour higher low to be formed. So something, not all the time, but you can kind of pinpoint a 1-hour Fibonacci just to kind of see a nice pullback zone of a 50% for another buy. The way that I usually do it is if I have a previous resistance zone, which is just like a pivotal point, sometimes I'll just wait for the pivot point to be tapped and then give it a rejection bar. So as of right now, we're currently tapping it. And if we get a nice rejection bar here, I could get my stop loss right below this area. I believe it's here. Yeah. I could possibly get my stop loss right below this higher low and then aim for making higher highs. So that's what I could be aiming for as of right now. But we're going to have to wait to see how this candle closure, because we could get a little bit further of a pullback and then a bullish engulfing bar, and then putting our stop loss down here. We just want to make sure that once we get in the position, we have a high probability of not being stopped out, right? That's the ultimate goal. Right now, we made this large move up. We're starting to slowly come back. And what could happen is we could just pop back up, but we could also pull back a little bit deeper, get to these kind of wicked areas, and then push all the way up. Now, we do have this kind of support resistance zone that I drew on right here. And this actually lines up with some previous resistance as well. So you can see rejected here, rejected here, rejected here, right? Had a lot of rejections here. So this adds up to like all of these rejection zones. So for that reason, this rejection zone is really good. It's just to the point where now I just need so once I have an entry candle and I get a closure above with the entry candle, then at that point I will go ahead and enter. This is a nice hammer bar as of right now. Usually with a hammer bar, I would prefer a bigger wick similar to this one. So like this would have been a nice entry point, but it hasn't pulled back enough, right? This is a hammer bar that I would be looking like. This one just doesn't have enough volume. And I think we're going to get a volume spike where it's going to push us lower and then it's going to push us higher. So that's what I'm kind of looking like as of right now, especially with the news events coming out today and tomorrow. That's what I'm thinking. So let's go ahead and continue to look. But silver is looking really great. We might get this perfect opportunity to get into silver and hold it for a longer duration. Let's go ahead and check out UCAD. UCAD has been giving me a lot of grief over the last day. So I didn't 100% follow my plan, unfortunately. So for that reason, I'm a little upset at myself. So what I told myself was I was going to enter this trade if we broke these lows. Then I'm going to take between 25 and 50% off at this stop light and then I was going to go break even because it could snap back. And it did exactly what I anticipated. Came to my stoplight to the T. I did not take any profits off the table because I saw this bearish engulfing bar and said, wow, we could get another one, right? So greed came in of holding this trade, fully greed, right? And so for greed coming in, guess what immediately happens? All of my like money that I could have had or made pulled all the way back, few ticks from my stop loss, and then is continuing back down in my direction. So this is just comes to show, follow your plan because your plan is already thought of before the trade. If you follow your plan, I would have been up at least 50% of this trade right here. So for this one specifically, I think I risked $500. This is like a 1.5 R. So I would have at least closed out like $300 on this trade, and then I would have been stopped out for break even. Boom, done. Wait for another entry. And then if I entered off of this 1 hour bearish engulfing bar, cool. But right here, I should have entered, or I should have followed my plan, took my profits, and then moved my stop loss. I didn't do either of those. So guess what happened? Price came down, and then it came through and did what I thought it was going to do. And unfortunately, I'm still actually in this position because it actually didn't take my stop loss. And this bearish engulfing bar breaking below this EMA, I actually like, and that's why I'm still holding this trade because I would have re-entered here, but now I don't add to losers, right? This was a loser at this very moment. I also don't add unless we're at least 0.5 of an R up in the position. So if price breaks through here, comes back and gives me an entry opportunity here, I will add to this position. But as of right now, we have went in our direction, reversed completely, and then currently kind of going in our direction. So for that reason, I'm not looking at adding to this trade whatsoever. Not until we continue lower, right? So that is what I have for you, CAD. I'm upset at myself for not following through with my plan. So with that, yeah. Now let's check out UJ. UJ is actually looking very nice. So I got in UJ all the way over here in this general area right here. So I think it was around this bullish engulfing bar that I got into UJ. I put my stop loss below this low, right? As this is a pivotal point. Price started going in my favor and then had this major correction, giving us a slight higher low, kind of creating a double bottom area. And then price just started to consolidate, finally breaking through and starting to head up and breaking these highs. I now have the confirmation. So for example, if I get a entry opportunity, if price comes back down to this trend line, for example, I could look to add to this position and then continue to ride it to the upside. Because we have already gone in our favor, we have broken structure showing bullish signals back to the upside as well on this current move. So these are kind of things that I'm looking at and making sure that price is doing. I would love to see price to continue higher a little bit further before we actually continue, or I would love for price to continue a little bit further, then make a pullback. So therefore I can get a better entry opportunity that has less risk off the table. As of right now, I have not moved my stop loss as of yet. I would love to see a structure point in order to move my stop loss. So if price comes up a little bit further, price pivots and make a higher low, I would love to move my stop loss into profit right here. Now I could go just about break even, such as like right here. But I don't feel like, moving my stop loss here as of right now, in the sense of this is not a strong structure point yet for this reason. price came up, made this high, made this higher low, and then broke out. So my structure point is still right here, right? So for that reason, price could still come all the way down here to this structure point and then continue higher. So that is why it's not because I feel like not moving. No, it's because my structure point is still right here based upon the breakout of these highs. You could say that this is a nice structure point, like I said. Me personally, this was the breakout area that had the higher low, but this is the actual structure point of this entire move up. So that's just kind of like my mentality on it. So once I get my higher low, at that point, I will move my stop loss up to that higher low, and we will be trailing our stop loss from there. So I have UJ. Let's go ahead and check out US 30. So US 30, oh man, looks like I possibly missed the move. So US 30 came down and actually gave a buy right in the zone that I was looking at a possible buy entry. So let's check out this buy entry to see if we had any opportunity to actually get in this trade or not. Not all trades will give a opportunity to actually get in. And this one doesn't look like it really did. Price came all the way down and then just rallied in 2 candles all the way up. So let's even break down the 2 hour. 2 hour. We got this massive bullish engulfing bar here. So no entry point on the 2 hour. 1 hour. We had this massive 1 hour bullish engulfing bar. So right here, if we put a long position at the closure of this bullish engulfing bar, stop loss right below this low. Let's see if I could have gotten a nice entry opportunity to this Fibonacci. So for this Fibonacci move, I look for a minimum of 3R. And based upon this move, this is only a 2.51R. So at this time, I would not be interested in this trade. So if price pulls back and creates a higher low, so price already broke to the high, breaking these previous highs, right? Breaking these previous highs. So if price can pull back to this kind of zone here that previously held resistance, previously held support, I would actually love to get into this higher low opportunity here and then aim to ride the highs, because at that point we could get a possible smaller candlestick. But then again, we got news events coming out this week, but we could possibly get a smaller bullish candlestick pattern giving us a buy opportunity. And as of right now, it's looking as if there's a double top that's currently trying to form. Not a guarantee of any sort, but we have created this bullish engulfing bar, kind of giving a signal to break to the high, but it did not break out from these highs. So right here, we could be starting a possible pullback in order to continue higher. So that is what I have on US 30 as of right now. So let's just make a little quick recap. So US 30, I'm anticipating a pullback for a buy. UJ, I'm currently in a buy. I'm waiting for a little bit of a pullback to create a higher low to continue to buy, right? And then UCAD, we are currently in a sell. I'm anticipating that we are actually right now getting some nice bearish signals with these rejections from the high right at the EMA on the 2 hour. So for that reason, we could continue this sell off today. And then, so UCAD is looking good for that. Let's look at silver. Silver, we're looking at a possible continuation a little bit further down before we get a buy opportunity, or we could get a nice buy opportunity right now based upon the next 26 minutes of this 1 hour bar. If this 1 hour bar closes above the previous candle, we might go ahead and enter this just with half price, just because I believe we could pull back a little bit further. This isn't my perfect entry point, but this is a entry point that I would feel confident that it could run in our direction. So for that reason, I will enter a smaller lot for the entry point to continue higher. So that is for silver. I'm thinking bullish. S&P and NASDAQ, I'm both thinking sells as of right now. Let's just relook at the daily just to see. Now we do have the daily as this overall pivotal point where we do have this overall high, higher low, and this bullish engulfing bar. So there's a chance this sell opportunity might not occur. But I'm thinking the sells because we technically broke the high here, created a higher low, created a higher high, and now we're breaking these lows. So that's why I'm thinking sells. So that is S&P and NASDAQ. Both I'm thinking sells as of right now. And then gold, I'm thinking that we will continue to sell off a little bit today before we get into going into next week or CPI, or sorry, PMI, not CPI. So with PMI, I'm thinking that we could pull back with PMI this week and then have that continuation Friday night going into Monday morning. So we'll kind of see what happens as of right there. And then GU is okay, nice. GU is starting to head back down as of right now. So that's good. So I moved my stop loss and we have started pushing down off of this move like crazy. So that's really good in my eyes. I was really kind of getting upset with GU kind of trying to pull back up. But yeah, we'll just keep on monitoring everything and see how it goes. But as of right now, that's pretty much my pre-market plan. Those are my directional biases as of right now. Those are what I'm waiting for my confirmations in. Some of them are in my area of interest. Some of them are not. So like gold is not in my area of interest. So I'm not looking for a buy, right? GU, it's already playing in my direction. So for that reason, I'm just waiting for context, more information for price to continue in my direction. So I'm just letting that trade play out. And then such as like in Q, right, in S&P 500, it's in my area of interest. So all I'm looking for is an entry point at this point. So does it give me a bearish signal? Does it give me a bearish structure? And for those reasons, I would enter immediately and try to ride the trend back down. So that's kind of like just kind of showing you my full aspect, my full plan is find direction. Make sure the direction matches my POI area. And as long as my direction matches my POI area, all I'm looking for my third step is an entry point. And with the entry point, it has to go with all of the thesis of my direction. And it has to be within my POI area in order to continue down. So that's pretty much what I have as of right now. And we'll just kind of come back in here next week, kind of seeing what everything is doing. If I do post a video tomorrow, it would be not live, but it would be like a pre-recorded of any sort. I don't know if I'm going to do a pre-market tomorrow, though. I usually don't do pre-markets on Friday. I only do them Sunday through Thursday. So as of right now, we're 5 out of 5 days doing our pre-market analysis. And overall, we had some good call outs, but unfortunately, not all of them have been a win yet. I am a swing trader. So for that reason, once I get into a trade, I will hold for a little while. Sometimes a day, sometimes 2 days, sometimes 2 weeks. It just really depends on what the market gives me. For example, UJ, right? I held this thing for like 3 days and it just went sideways the entire 3 days. And then only overnight, it started going in the up direction. Like middle of the day, overnight, it finally started going in the up direction into the direction that I was anticipating. So for all of those reasons, that is where it's like, now that we're moving up, we're just waiting for context to add and build, and then we're going to continue higher, right? That's my mentality. But all right, guys, that's going to be it for me today. Hopefully everybody was able to learn something and hopefully everybody can make some winning trades. Feel free to reach out if y'all have any specific questions. or if y'all wanted to ask and see if there's any specific pairs that y'all wanted me to break down for the pre-market analysis, feel free to reach out. Thank you guys. Y'all have a great rest of your day. Okay.